So the word on the street is that we're coming up on a balanced market, or we're moving towards a balanced market. Really? Let's take a look at the stats next. Hi, I'm Geoff White, Realtor with RE/MAX Eastern here in Peterborough in the Kawarthas. And today, welcome to the Geoff White Show, where we're looking at the Peterborough Real Estate Price Report. And yes, some realtors are saying that we're moving towards a balanced market. But I don't get the feeling that that's exactly what's happening, or that's what's happening at all. So I decided to dig into the numbers. And let's take a look and see what's going on in our world of real estate here in Peterborough. Here's a bar graph for you. It takes a look at comparison of unit sales 2017 to 2018 for the period January through to June. You can see here in blue, these are the sales, the number of units, homes sold for the period in 2017, 778. And you can see in 2018, sales are down quite a bit. Unit sales are down. Dollars in terms of average price is up. We'll get to that in a few minutes. So let's take a look. The number of homes sold over list price. Last year, 495. This year, 267. Well, that's definitely a decrease. Definitely a move towards a balanced market. Let's talk about a balanced market. A balanced market really is a market where there are enough homes that buyers can have some choice and buy at a reasonable price in a reasonable amount of time, which means your home sells in a reasonable amount of time if you're listing. Typically, we see more than, probably 3-4 months of inventory, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We don't have that right now. But this number right here, at list or below list, would be much higher than it is right now. And this number, 267, would be much lower. So we can see in the last 6 months that at list sales are, let's call it flat, 74 versus 54, and that under list is growing compared to this time last year. So next month, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to this 267. Will it drop and then these rise? My sense is yes, and we will continue to move towards a balanced market, but we're still quite a ways from it because those homes that are being sold under $400,000, anything that's listing at $299, $289 is going to multiple offers these days. And if it's marketed properly and shown properly in terms of pictures and videos and all the things that a realtor on top of their game does to make sure that you get the most for your home, the amount that it deserves, this number will stay higher or stay up because of that price range. All right, let's move on and take a look at what's happened in the last 7 days here in the Peterborough market. We can see that 39 homes listed in the last 7 days. 3 homes came back on the market, whatever the reason. Frequently, we've been seeing issues with financing, but there are other reasons. 15 homes went through price decreases. So the market isn't perfect for every house out there. There has been one price increase. Yes, it's rare that a house goes through a price increase. This particular one had a $20,000 price increase. Conditional sales. So when a market's really hot, like we had last year, and all those homes are selling over ask, the homes are being sold without conditions. That means the day that the contract is signed, the agreement of purchase and sale is accepted, that's it. It's sold. These days, as you can remember from the graph there, it's almost a balance between over ask and under ask. And so whenever we're selling something under ask, it's when you're on the buyer's side, representing the buyer's side, you want to make sure that your buyer has a condition for finance, a condition for insurance, home inspection, or any of those other things that will protect the buyer's rights. And so you can see in the last 7 days, 23 homes sold conditionally. In the last 7 days, 36 homes sold, which means the conditions were fulfilled, or they were sold over ask and probably with no conditions. 2 homes were suspended. That means that the listing was put on pause while a couple of things were worked out, and then it'll come back to the active market. 10 homes were canceled, and we've talked about this before. There are a number of reasons for canceling a listing. Sometimes it's so that everything can be reset and a new price can be put on it and put back on the market. Sometimes, things change in the seller's life and now they don't need to move. So, they take the house off the market. And this is the one leased is there. There are homes that list on the internet or on the multiple listing service that are actually for rent, and so that's what we're talking about here. One leased. So let's take a look at how this all adds up then in terms of the Peterborough Real Estate Price Report. You can see that the average price in the city, $412,000, is up 5.3% for the same period last year. This is for the month of June, by the way. Units sold down, that's a lot, right? 26% just about. Days on market, 22. Now that's up from 15 for the same month last year. So it's taking 7 days longer on average. And we're seeing that because we're seeing homes that are going conditional. And when there are conditions on an offer, it takes longer for the home to go from listed to sold. So that makes sense. We can see that the list to sale ratio is at 101.7, which is down quite a bit from the really hot point of last year where we were at 110% for a while. And the inventory remains tight with only about 1.3 months of inventory. Now that's in the city. Taking a look at the rest of Peterborough County, outside of the city, the rural areas, excluding waterfront, average price is down. We can see that income properties in the month of June, multifamily. Now these are not houses that have secondary suites. These are duplexes, triplexes, multiplex buildings purpose-built for multifamily living. There were only 3 sold in June, so it's a small sample size. And then on the waterfront, all waterfront in Peterborough County, the average $584,000. So that's a look at the Peterborough Real Estate Price Report. Remember, I'm Geoff White. I sell residential, income, and waterfront property here in Peterborough and the Kawarthas. If you don't already subscribe to this stream, my channel on YouTube, please do so, and give me a like, would you? It really helps push up the rankings for Google and all of those other social media settings that we have. And until the next Geoff White Show, remember, life is good and getting better.